Hey, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new video. Last episode, we found the bodies of Taka and Hifumi who have died. We found a bunch of evidence, we investigated, and it's time for the class trial to begin. Everyone has heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered by the red door. Since we were all here,
Monokuma appears!
Hello. He's multiplied.
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. It's just that way because it's an illusion. The movie's so fast it only looks like one. Alright, fucking Coral Sensei. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? Can we just get to the elevator already?
Boy,
We're not playing along. You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
okay. Hey,
Then if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train, elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please.
Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
what the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, Hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already, I didn't do it. For serious. This reminds me. Did you ever find the other costume or the note? Well, no, but how unfortunate. Then it seems we have our aunt culprit.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusation before we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Taka, Hifumi and Taka, the one who killed two of our friends. The killer is someone right here. And let's go. Took one deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk towards the elevator. Once everyone is aboard, into the depths we go. The doors closed on their own, and the steel box began to move. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There's no going back. Until we settle this, all this, we can't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator's door slid open, opening us into a cruel fate. When I see all you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why? Why do you make us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
Well, what? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me, of course. I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, Stu, we're on for the next best class trial after this commercial break. I never hold you on like that. Okay, let's get back to your assignments. I feel called out. And so, the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. I would like to save, yes. Alright, set skills. Lost in thought, increase the time limit of each phase. That's nice. I think oh, there's so many fucking skills I still haven't got. There's definitely more than for certain people. Hard. How do I go? There we go. Finish preparations. Class trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
You have no room to talk, Jill.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing
But
it while
here's my
committing
only issue
crime
there.
after
I don't think she
crime.
was there.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Is Hero really the killer, or anything else? We have to make that clear. Alright. How many bullets do we start off with this time? Please make it only one. Only one. Hero smashes. The Hero smashes.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just
All right.
hold on a second.
Okay.
Everything we found in your room, the blueprints,
The suit parts, they are all...
No, that's wrong.
I wish it would have been my Hero's message. So it means Hero
Are we
writing.
sure Hero really made those blueprints?
what do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
He has a
So
point.
Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hero's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hero said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Of course. And of course you pass it off to me.
So? Who was in...
Suspicion video questioned out was Hina. Why me?
Shoot!
Wait, okay. I was confused because I guess. Okay, I get it.
I got it!
I'm
Other
stupid.
than
I
Hero,
know. Shush.
I can't
Don't
think
judge
of anyone
me.
else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
And
That
this.
doesn't make any sense. You just said Hero didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have
Like I
to
said,
make
I think
such
it's
a statement?
Celeste.
You
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
Shut up, Hina.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Yeah.
I got it!
Yeah. There's one. There's still one thing though. Yeah, that was dark.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with that
So,
attitude?
let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository,
It was
so did the
repository.
dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Okay, listen here.
We have
I've saved
all
our asses
accepted the
twice,
fact
bitch.
That you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Oh, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. Maybe I can change your mind. I was explaining to them how this moved. New elements added. Oh, god damn it. Alright, let's later. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet, time battle. We're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo mark, you see the ammo count. Up until now, there's really only been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statement. But for now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse won't be enough to handle them. It will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single mark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more marks, no matter how many you lock on. However, you can reload by testing the tab key. Just like locking on, you have to press the tab key in time with the tempo to make the mark. Basically, it functions with yes. Automatically reload at the start of favor time, and your ammo would not decrease on, but with your actions. In case you can't ignore everything I just said, I'll do that next one. Oh, this was fucking quick.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Dumb bitch.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
Correct.
There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, my sister would hate me that
Well,
much.
anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. What kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately
Yeah, you can't bend over.
obvious.
Can't bend. Make your arguments. Robo's Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Correct.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Correct.
Well, yeah, but even with all you'd have to do is bend
Find it.
over.
Fuck you.
No, that's wrong.
Can't bend over, you dumb bitch.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you really can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, What's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
You need someone else to take off the suit? There's like no chance to just take it off. Can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help, which makes something that you can't take off by yourself. They didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a class on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. But we don't have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Correct.
Then you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect
Yeah,
him.
he's not Byakuya.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Correct.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. What I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
Shut up, Jill.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning.
Okay.
4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moved at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste so strong. That was a rather tense scream or something like that. Saw the strange costume man ran off as soon as I screamed. Just blocked. was blocking the stairs, so we headed further down in the hallway and disappeared.
And then,
Huh? What was that? I came from downstairs. It must have been Fumi. He's in the nurse's office. It's bad. Come on, we have to go back.
at that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room.
Correct.
We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Hifumi
Then
isn't
we
dead.
remembered
It wasn't dead
we'd
then.
left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing.
Correct.
Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository.
Thank you for the recaps
which
of
is
the
where
fucking
we
last
rediscovered
episode.
Corpses.
This is literally just the recap of the last episode.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Yes, but it's Celeste.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to come to the truth, we have to find them no matter what. About time. More gameplay. Make your arguments. Move without hurry.
So, regarding...
I want to take a look at something. I forgot how to do a certain ability controls. Nope, that's not what I actually wanted. Maybe not? Never mind.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the
Justice hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay, I know where.
So, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say
Because of the
Numbering of the Justice hammers.
What? No. Come on, Makoto.
Shoot!
Okay, so I was. So is the first one?
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know
Know what order they were killed in.
Taka came last.
I fucking
what makes you
missed.
say
Because of the number.
it's true that Hifumi while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after. We already know.
Know what order
Fuck.
they were killed in.
You. What?
Shoot!
Okay, so give me a quick second. Controls. Concentration. Yeah. Weak spots. Firing truth bolts. Yada yada yada. Reloading. Quick select. If you there, hold down left. Okay.
I wonder if, or perhaps it was.
We already know what order they were killed in.
Taka came last
What makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the justice.
No.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Fuck. Okay.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Something related to what time? Oh god, damn it, scam it. Fuck, I hate it. Oh god. Oh, wristwatch, okay. Give me a C, please.
Now I understand.
Took me a second to figure out what the fuck that was. I'm stupid.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey, you, how long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's here already. Yep. No, it's almost 10 o'clock, you know, 10 goes.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Huh? What was that? Came downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. It's bad. Come on, we have to go.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
It was Celeste and Hifumi working together.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on.
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no
And we
way
already
she could
know
have
the
done
fucking,
the same with
trolley
Hifumi's
thing.
body.
Trolley
Because,
thing.
as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body. And according to what Celeste said,
Could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, so the killer was able to get him. Seems so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Not impossible,
Well,
but God, he'll be strong as
What
hell.
if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move
'Cause he
itself.
wasn't dead. The fucker was alive.
The dead body moved on its own?
Yep.
No! Not another... ghost!
Shut up,
I
Kiara.
don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Was it really possible? Yes, it was. You guys came out at the same time. Make your arguments. Bullseye. Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead
Body had been found.
Wait, no, not that. I did not mean that.
shoot!
Are you saying
Yep,
that when
I
we first
knew-
there's
I
a
was a stupid
chance he
one.
was...
No. It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. Hifumi's dead, and that is why the announcement.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Should just not almost at the exact same time.
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually still...
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's
Dead body had been found.
and that is. Are we really? Maybe the announcement.
Announcement was intended to signal someone else's
What?
discovery.
Shoot!
Okay.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was. Are we really? Maybe the announcement was
Intended to signal someone else's
Discovery.
No, fuck. I did not mean to do that. So I don't
Are
think
you
it's broken.
saying
I
that
think
when we
it's.
first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. Hifumi's dead, and that is. Are we really? Maybe the announcement.
announcement was intended to signal
Someone else's discovery.
Alright, so if the truth bullets, do I still have my?
Are you
okay.
saying that when we first found there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovery now. Hifumi's
dead body had been found.
Fuck you, bitch.
No, that's wrong.
I feel like I should be able to counter them each way.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, There really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail, but what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
So first time I played, the second time I played was 4. Both when
I got it!
slowly
We heard
getting
it a
off.
second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. Boys, been after saving my time. I shall be done.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly,
That's
I do
lost
not
for you.
think there's anything that can prove he...
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he...
This whole thing is pointless.
Make your arguments. Room's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the... And then, his body disappeared.
That's correct.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Correct.
But when you compare his body before being moved
And his body other than the...
Change in how it was positioned.
Oh no, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be the one right after. I know it.
Well, here's one thing. The first
need to
time
start
we found
looking.
him, and then his body disappeared.
Yeah.
Fuck off. But when you compare his body before, other than the chain, there was no...
Notable difference.
Glasses.
No, that's wrong.
I'm stupid. You should
In
know this
fact,
by
There was
now.
one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
Yes, and what was that,
Glasses.
glasses? Thank you. Grabbing
That fact alone
Chip.
proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it!
Sorry, I was chewing.
It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was... Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Yeah, about that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's
Joe
no
doesn't give a
question.
shit.
It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead,
Why?
what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere!
Yep.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
That's also true.
It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right?
Yep.
So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
Yes.
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
Now here's
If
the
you're
big question.
having trouble,
What
would
if
you
you kill
like
someone
me
and
to
kill
show
yourself?
you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Ah, yes. So.
Shoot!
Wait, but you said what Taka had it on. You motherfucker.
I got it!
You said what Taka
You're
had on
talking
it.
about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll be back in a quick second. And I'm back. Alright, let's go. We can't. Okay, so this.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
Yes.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Thumi's
I got it!
pants.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear.
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Jensen Jack is seriously scary, but still, can't let her get to me.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's
There you
wrong. No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Crazy bitch.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. Ugh. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead.
I got it!
I got it.
When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
No, he's dead.
No. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait,
But me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the
Clean
question
hammer.
is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
At least in a single blow.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding the case won't be clear until we figure that. I know. Spotless hammer, thank you.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever there's one, how was the culprit? How did nobody witness that? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Nope. But, I mean...
Shoot!
But, I mean, that makes sense. Just have 5.
What was used to, was it just, maybe Justice?
Well, there's one, how was the culprit? How did nobody Sounds like a Justice Hammer! Check out murdergear.com!
Well, what? The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
No, that's wrong.
Fuck's sake. Some of these ones are kind of sketchy. Like, hey, that's technically
The murder
work here,
weapon
too.
wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Makoto's just spazzing in the corner there.
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Or they just use those itself.
If that's true,
'Cause it's
that
missing
would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Okay, we research them first. Spotless hammer.
Based on the rules that have been, even if more than one person,
Only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That's not impossible.
That is how the rule was.
but that only really applies.
In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
No chance to work.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people work together on it.
That is.
But that only really applies. In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
I don't under... This one's strange.
Based on the rules that have been, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people...
That is how the rule was.
But that only really applies if there's 1 murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Fuck me. Fuck.
Based on the rules that have been, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people work together.
That is how the...
But that only really applies if there's 1 murder. In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Do with it what I said. There were 2 murders.
Shoot!
I don't under... This one's confused.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried, assuming the rule holds true.
This?
It is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
Shoot!
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true. It is...
That is.
But that only really... In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually carried, assuming the rule holds true.
No,
I don't
that's
understand
wrong.
how those two go together.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person
like
was
Hifumi.
involved.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Hifumi killed Taka. Then someone killed Hifumi.
If there'd only been 1 murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only 1 person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't 1 single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like 1 person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime. Just by creating 1 seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like 1 person was behind it.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Remember, because the was the same. Okay, let's do notice the fact that so next to look at the serious connected but specifically it's carefully placed. It's too amazing. It's almost unnatural. Good, she is.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
True color manipulator. Action in the end. Debates up till now. Sir, whoever seems to fit.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, and I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
God, Makoto, you're such a bitch.
If we accept that
I
Hifumi was
really
one
don't
of the
like Makoto in
culprits,
this game.
we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Saw shadows, and we moved up the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab
Quit
up
staring
on
at
the
me like
third
that's
floor.
Celeste.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was rather intense scream for someone like you. Saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed, blocking the stairs, so he headed further up. Yeah.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
What was that? Came from downstairs. It must have been Fumi's in the nurse office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Why don't we split into groups? We'll the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. For all the Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the yeah, about you and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become
I
connected.
feel like she probably should have gone with the other group then to make it seem like they got there at the same
And
time.
on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
Certainly was not expecting this. Imagine that Fumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
Is it what I called out earlier?
What?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must be really enjoying this. Everything is the side of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to? Go to file 3.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively we are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I...
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
So, okay, I'm trying to think if I need to pick something up.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die,
Just like those guys died.
Shoot!
I'm probably gonna lose here.
All I said was, they must really enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and they must be... we are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and they must be... we are all going to die here. We are going to die, just
Fuck
like
it.
those guys died.
Yeah, figured. Okay, I'm in. Yep, okay. Oh, I still... No, I don't. Failed. Okay. Nobody believes me. Let me guess. I'm dead. What up here? That. Yep. I still understand why I'm the one dying. Yeah. Why I'm the one who.
I
I'm the one who
refuse to
died.
give up yet.
Can't give up now. Let's figure out what the fuck this one is, because I don't understand this one. This one's confusing me, and I'm stupid, so. Let's see. I'm going to file 3.
All I said was,
Can I look up? No.
they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here,
We are going to die.
just like those guys died.
No.
Shoot!
All I said was, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be... we are going to die. And that is all...
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
So strange. Oh, okay,
All I
okay,
said, they
okay,
must really
okay,
enjoying
okay, get rid of
the
that.
sight of us.
Okay,
They
okay,
must be...
okay.
we are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all...
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
No, we would...
Shoot!
All I
This is
said,
so-
they must
this is so
really
annoying.
enjoying the sight of us. They must be... we are going to die. And that is all...
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Fuck it, let's try So Strange and... I don't think I tried So
they must
Strange.
really enjoying the sight of us. They must be... we are going to die, just like...
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
This one, that was dumb. That one was so dumb.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have...
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of...
It has to be some kind. So let's put the suit on. And
Have you so quickly forgotten? You, plus, I happen to know that this particular camera... In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Oh,
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
full explanation. Wasn't picture of Spock's dragging away. The only possibility was.
I got it! It's
Shadows?
not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Let's see your proof. There's no way she's dragging. It's really possible. Okay. Temporalize. Well, just costume, shields.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, that's wrong. No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't ban at the waist. Seems like pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it.
Yeah, bitch.
That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well
What was
then,
that noise?
I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Already fit. We already. Okay. Who killed you? Who killed me? That's right. I really. Yashihiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I got it!
Okay, I actually didn't.
That's
yeah,
right.
he did. He said
Our
yeah.
last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
Hence why you changed your name.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine! Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
So let's just do this. So then just want to make her accept it. Oh. I thought I was actually going to do someone else. The handbook spotless.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell? Celestia Ludenberg, God!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending, and since you have no way
To contradict me.
that's the only truth there
God!
is!
You missed. Okay.
Moron!
Yes, ebook.
Hifumi was trying. He wanted us to know the killer. If there's one person,
It would have to be you, Celeste.
how many times? Celestia Ludenberg, God!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending, and since you have no way to contradict me,
But we do.
No, that's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up. Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook's actually viral as the hell of school life, so someone loves it. When you start it, we'll display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. No, it's not your everyday notebook. It's more than
So
Fine.
all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us, please? Just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Time for the final remark. Closing remark. Okay, this is not gonna be fun. I don't. This one's kind of strange. This one. Nope, he wasn't 4. before. What? This one. This one's kind of.
Here's
Let's
exactly
just go
what
through
happened.
this one so far.
Before anything, the killer
When we
persuaded
get to the
someone to
parts that
help
I'm not
carry
sure
out
about,
the
we'll
murder.
do it.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. That's the. This one is actually the clock. Not the clock. This clock. Oop. So maybe this. And then, and that, and that.
The killer is you!
Okay.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
Okay, I think I know
The
what the next
reason
one is.
Hammer number 4 was used
Maybe.
was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2
So
more
I don't
assault
think this one's
incidents.
correct.
For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time,
Yeah.
they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these
Maybe-
2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't have raising in the case. Yeah, get on this. So this, nope, so nope, not that. That's going to be 2?
The killer is you! So, for these, the first there, the killers wanted this.
Cool, got it.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office, and once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Celeste. Yep.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I think it would be so much cooler if Makoto wasn't fucking an idiot,
Lost?
and I hated him.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Eiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
She sounds familiar all of a sudden. Her, like, not crazy voice. I did terribly this one. Yeah. Yeah. I think the middle's low.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Well, this is sad. Actually, not really. Fuck Celeste. I did not like her one bit. I called it, though.
What?
Basically, formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blacking is done, and the true color who devised all taken scheme was Celeste Lindbergh, or maybe precisely Tiyoko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, this sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Fumi's inept was beyond my calculations.
I knew it.
So he really did approach Fumi with his plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have agreed to commit the murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty, to make me laugh. After lie to get him agree.
So
Then you used, you know. I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi's act as my accomplice.
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I've already mentioned it by name, but I was one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. What does she mean? She's talking about Ultra Ego.
Say what?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt her. We're in the middle of a very important conversation. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used to track Hifumi into your plane and you came up with right again. Last night, after we met our explanation, I had disappeared. I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It's about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
are you
It
okay
was
with
Taka.
this?
He stole it.
So
And I have
then,
proof. Would you like to see it? Turned out as it turned out, I'd found use for the digital camera. I'd taken, I'd taken, what, Taka's room earlier and took a picture of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I shown it to Fumi's clothes.
Damnation!
So it was him. How did he do it? He was supposed to yell either if us got closer. You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
as for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
as for
He
me,
came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures, and he said if I don't ask, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
It's a crime, an absolute crime. I knew he's a little crazy, but
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. Can't reverse how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him.
Unforgivable!
I'm going to fucking kill him.
most
Wait, please,
unfortunate.
if you go now, you'll be paying right into his hands.
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean. Taka's going to try to kill you.
indeed.
And all he can, and also he can keep him to himself. That bastard. Bastard.
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She.
I swear,
I have to save her.
will save her!
actually,
Then would you like to join me? So happen I have come up with a plan. Huh? I'd advise a way to reclaim what was stolen, and he escape his dreadful school. With that, it is complete. What are we talking about? Oh, nothing. Fumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even when love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You would disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume of Fumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to make something that'll hide a face and general body side. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me a suspect? Because you're stupid. Huh? That's it.
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm glad your stupidity surpassed my expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you explained your plan to Fumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Fumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had already let him live?
Are you okay with
That was
this?
simple. After he disappeared to everyone, once everyone showed up, I told him that he would been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he was just barely held on. And he really believed that. Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. Explained to Fumi. The plan was, while you were all questioning about him, had happened to I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Fumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed me. It seemed very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point in my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How could human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder
No.
about that.
He derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we're nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for the money? Are you talking about the $10 million Milton offered us? That is a lot of money. It's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life had begun, my only thought has been to escape.
But
All along, you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hate it from day one, more than anyone else in here.
You little
I wanted to get
bitch.
out every day. Was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream, and accepting my life here would have meant nothing less than giving up my dream forever.
Honestly.
There's no way I could do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
It was all for that dream. It was all for that dream of yours.
isn't it
To
wonderful?
live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers slash bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Was I obtained this, I would have created a perfect and aesthetic world of...
This is
fuck
fine.
me. This bitch. Living the rest of my life was only my dream, my only goal. That's what life is about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. They got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be
unfortunately,
done.
my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
It's not so passionate, but you're really able to kill your own friends for it.
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrifice others for my own ends. I feel
do
nothing.
you understand?
That's all there is. That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? Simply no room for
What
understanding.
is this?
That's what we should be saying, and plus, how could you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unraveled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can feel my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. That's why you're not scared.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice then,
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would come back as Marie and Nonetta.
hey,
You'll just get executed again. Celeste smiled then. When she did, it looked like a pure effort to force it. It was a claim she could feel her own feelings. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what's betraying her.
Thrills! Chills!
Oh, done. Well then, let's get
kills!
to the plaque and disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Let's
I
go.
guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why, actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
And there goes Celeste. Oh no, she's being burned. The burning of the burning of the witch. I was gonna say this one seems too not extravagant. I hope these get more extravagant later on in the future, because these ones kind of lackluster. Leon's was actually pretty cool. I didn't really care for Mondo's, and this one was kind of me too. Of course, because that one had nothing to do with her besides like the whole her being a fucking bitch or a witch. But that execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pet her, but I also can't deny at one point I was gonna hurt a friend too. For him to just come along and isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more values in our lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're on the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And in my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but the reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, let's see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste.
Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me, what did you do to my body?
Ooh. How exciting.
Oh man, oh geez, oh man, oh geez. What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? Mastermind did something to Kyoko's body. What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's time for I get out
Well?
of here. Meanwhile, you guys can enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later.
When Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Though it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's a key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it there.
Hey,
I suppose something gets easier to miss than right beneath your nose. Well then, we're gonna go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back and said,
Hey,
I'm gonna go in alone from here. Everyone else, head to the dining hall. Checking on you later.
What?
What exactly are you going? Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance cameras.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still a risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just gonna draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
That's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay?
Huh?
Huh? So we are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. Try to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then,
When you get in that locker, Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. As the locker swung open, we saw it.
You really came.
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. Never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I just did what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. And, I think maybe open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please just wait just a while longer. So, are we going to say the case is closed? As far as the incident is concerned, sure, but can we talk a second since we have the opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me. Why are you trying to do all your own here at the school?
you...
So what, you want to come with me?
However,
Regardless, it's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. It just makes me even more worried.
what?
Worried. Like what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared. We didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural to think that I have a mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
then maybe I can believe you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's fine.
fine, I'll tell you. Tell you what, I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes. So I waited night to come, and when I did, I went into action.
Correct.
Boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have surveillance camera monitor. And in the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? What are we doing? This video is almost 2 hours long. Just no storage closet as far as I can tell. This Kyoko told me about could it really be hidden here? Oh, head wall. She said there was a way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean it, seriously? Without thinking, I pressed my hand in the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, it was being yanked in. Shunk. At the same time, the sound I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? Turned out, the back of the wall was a revolving door. Meanwhile, on the outside, just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the second floor, there's a storage closet. And in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. What's in here? There's a bunch of files, volumes after volumes of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Look at everything one found on the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope Speak Academy student registry. It's the only thing not covered in dust. Had someone been looking here recently? I slipped the file into my hand, and before I had a chance to look at it, the favorite file out of the file and it turned my attention. What's this? Must not leave. That's kind of weird. You can understand it as if it was like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. What this is, my head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I do? What do I know? What don't I know? Oi? A strange sound rung through my head. It felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it's been. Ow. Apparently something hit me. I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. A dull, throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. All the books are gone. An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty. Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that's fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? My brain refused to do any more work. The incessant pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, just back to my room. Get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my head heavy with thought. Driving myself back to my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of school. The further I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry. I can't see in front of me. Couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that, it's a vast distance. I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. That sound, someone from the gym. As I desperately hauled my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? Can't be nothing. Here in the gym. I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sound coming from inside. Meanwhile, only testifying to that much more. For me, their ragged battle beyond anything humanly possible. No one side's not human, that's for sure. Regardless, couldn't stop staring. Try to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
Deal.
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this,
Wait,
right?
was Sakura the fucking spy?
You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? And could it be Mastermind Spy is